In April 2026, a quiet earthquake is rattling the heavily gilded gates of Buckingham Palace as explosive rumours suggest the 90-year-old Duke of Kent is preparing to bypass Queen Camilla entirely, allegedly setting up a secret legal mechanism to leave his priceless collection of Romanov diamonds directly to Catherine, Princess of Wales. This unprecedented maneuver threatens to upend centuries of strict royal hierarchy, deliberately diverting a legendary private jewellery vault away from the reigning queen to place it exclusively into the hands of the future one. Behind the flawless smiles and glittering state banquets, a profound transfer of power is allegedly unfolding, revealing a master plan that rewrites the rules of inheritance to secure the long-term survival of the crown. The sheer magnitude of this rumoured decision only truly comes into focus when you look at the magnificent choreography of the modern monarchy on display right now. Just recently, the grand staterooms of the palace were bathed in the warm golden glow of crystal chandeliers for a centenary banquet, an evening meticulously designed to celebrate what would have been the 100th birthday of the late Queen Elizabeth II. It was an atmosphere thick with memory and reverence, projecting the unbroken continuity of the British establishment to the world. At the absolute centre of this diplomatic sea stood the two women who define the current era of the crown: Queen Camilla, executing her duties with the steadfast precision expected of her high position, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, whose presence continues to command a deeply rooted public fascination. As they moved gracefully among foreign dignitaries and heads of state, the eyes of the world were inevitably drawn not just to their poise, but to the breathtaking historical artifacts resting upon them. In the highest echelons of royalty, diamonds and sapphires are never merely decorative accessories. They are the silent, brilliant language of authority, unspoken hierarchy, and sovereign power. Every tiara placed upon a royal head is a calculated message, a physical manifestation of where a woman stands within the rigid architecture of the institution. Queen Camilla, rightfully adorned in the spectacular pieces reserved for the monarch's consort, represents the steadfast reality of the present. Catherine, carrying the undeniable weight of public adoration, wears the pieces that slowly but surely signal her inevitable future. Yet, far away from the flash of the press cameras and the carefully drafted palace press releases, the true drama lies hidden inside a highly secured vault holding the legendary Kent jewellery collection. These are not standard royal assets loaned out for an evening of diplomatic pleasantries. They are priceless survivors of history, bearing a legacy written in endurance and exile. They feature magnificent stones that fled the collapsing Russian Empire in 1917, smuggled away in simple travel bags to escape the fires of revolution. For over 6 decades, Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent, has been the very definition of royal discretion and the sole legal custodian of this awe-inspiring private collection. Under normal circumstances, the protocol for a senior royal holding such a historically significant private collection is well established, heavily influenced by the crushing weight of British taxation. As members of the extended royal family approach the twilight of their lives, the expectation is that these priceless pieces will be transferred directly to the reigning monarch. This sovereign-to-sovereign transfer is a highly practical move, designed specifically to avoid a staggering 40% inheritance tax that has, in the past, forced aristocratic families to sell off their history to the highest bidder at auction houses. However, once those jewels are absorbed into the central royal collection, the unwritten rules of the institution take over completely. The strict hierarchy of the palace dictates that the reigning consort in this case, Queen Camilla, would naturally hold the paramount right to select, control, and wear these treasures first. This is precisely where the current whispers sweeping through the most exclusive aristocratic circles take a thrilling turn. According to highly sensitive rumours, the Duke of Kent is willing to forego the financial safety of the traditional tax exemption to orchestrate a private legal mechanism. He is allegedly establishing a highly secure private heritage trust designed to bypass the sovereign entirely, handing the exclusive ownership and control of the Romanov diamonds directly to Catherine. For a man who has spent his entire life upholding the invisible boundaries of the institution, this rumoured decision is an unprecedented divergence from protocol. It completely disregards the established line of precedence, bypassing the current queen to ensure these legendary jewels rest solely with the Princess of Wales. It is a calculated endorsement that speaks volumes about how the oldest members of the royal family view the future of the institution, choosing to heavily arm the future queen with the literal weight of history. To understand exactly how such a drastic shift in loyalty came to be, we must look beyond the glittering banquets and step into the quiet, sacred shadows of a funeral that changed everything. In September 2025, the royal family gathered at Westminster Cathedral to bid a final farewell to Catherine, the Duchess of Kent, who passed away peacefully at the age of 92. Her life was, in every sense, a beautiful exception to the rigid royal mold. Born a commoner, she faced rejection not once, but twice, from her future mother-in-law, Princess Marina. Unwilling to yield, she famously traveled alone across Canada by bus, quietly waiting for the man she loved to stand by her side. When they finally married in 1961, it was an event of historic proportions. Their ceremony at York Minster drew 8 million viewers, marking the first royal wedding held at that magnificent location in over 600 years. Yet, Catherine never chased the spotlight or the traditional trappings of power. She intimately knew the heavy toll of royal life, enduring the heartbreaking loss of a stillborn child in 1977. Long before the modern era of mental health advocacy, she bravely and openly discussed her subsequent battle with deep depression, breaking a long-held royal taboo of silence. Eventually, she chose to step back from the glittering frontline entirely. Introducing herself simply as Mrs. Kent, she drove hundreds of miles each week to teach music to children in state schools in Hull and co-founded the charity Future Talent. Her most defining divergence from tradition, however, came in 1994, when she became the first senior member of the royal family to convert to Catholicism since the Act of Settlement in 1701. When the time came to honor her extraordinary life, history was unexpectedly made within the walls of Westminster Cathedral. King Charles III, the Supreme Governor of the Church of England, attended the Catholic Requiem Mass. It was a staggering visual, the first time a reigning British monarch had attended a Catholic service on domestic soil in nearly 500 years, bridging a divide that had existed since the turbulent days of the Reformation. The emotional weight of the day was palpable. The king, often the picture of stoic duty, was visibly moved to tears. By his side, Catherine was seen gently comforting Prince William, her presence serving as a steadying anchor amid the collective sorrow. Yet, the portrait of unity was incomplete. Queen Camilla was noticeably absent from the pews. The official explanation was entirely rooted in diplomatic duty. She had travelled to Scotland to fulfill vital state obligations. While logistically sound and perfectly understandable within the demands of statecraft, her absence at such a deeply historic and intimate family gathering inevitably created a media vacuum, fueling a firestorm of public speculation about the internal dynamics of the family. Standing at the absolute centre of this vortex is the Duke of Kent himself. At 90 years old, Prince Edward is far more than a peripheral figure. He holds an extraordinarily quiet, yet vast reservoir of power. He is the last living person born under the reign of King George V, serving as a direct, living link to a bygone era of emperors and kings. His influence extends deep into the establishment, having served as the Grand Master of the Freemasons for a staggering 58 years, from 1967 to 2021. For 52 years, he was the enduring face of Wimbledon, calmly walking onto centre court to present trophies to sporting legends like Roger Federer, Serena Williams, and Novak Djokovic. Perhaps most tellingly, it was the Duke of Kent whom the late Queen Elizabeth II specifically chose to stand intimately by her side on the Buckingham Palace balcony during the 2022 Platinum Jubilee, a testament to his absolute loyalty and the profound trust placed in him. But his true leverage in this current, unspoken standoff lies in the breathtaking legacy he guards. The Kent jewellery collection is not merely gold and stone, it is a stunning survival story. In 1917, as the Russian Empire violently collapsed, Grand Duchess Maria Pavlovna orchestrated a daring escape for her legendary jewels. Entrusted to a British diplomat and her son, 224 priceless pieces were hurriedly stuffed into simple Gladstone bags, smuggled out of the Vladimir Palace right under the noses of revolutionaries, and safely transported to London. These treasures eventually passed to Princess Marina, the current Duke's mother. When she married into the Windsor family in 1934, she brought a wave of Romanov grandeur with her, sparking such an intense fashion frenzy that London society adopted a specific colour code named Marina Blue in her honour. However, history is a harsh and unforgiving custodian. The brutal reality of British inheritance tax has previously ravaged this very collection, leaving deep scars on the Kent family's heritage. When Princess Marina passed away in 1968, the crushing blow of death duties forced the family into a heartbreaking corner. Irreplaceable historical artifacts had to be surrendered to the auction block simply to settle the staggering debts owed to the state. The magnificent Cambridge sapphire tiara, a piece of breathtaking artistry, was sold off in 1993. A dazzling Romanov diamond bow brooch, which had survived the terrifying nights of the Russian Revolution, resurfaced at a Christie's auction in 2012, fetching an astounding $842,000, 4 times its estimated value. The bleeding of this imperial history has been so profound that there are even persistent, shocking whispers within pop culture circles that certain historic Romanov earrings from this very lineage have somehow found their way into the private collection of billionaire Kim Kardashian. For a family rooted in ancient aristocratic lineage, seeing the remnants of their empire scattered across modern celebrity collections is a bitter reality to witness. The current Duke of Kent is acutely aware that without decisive action, history is poised to repeat itself. If he passes this collection down to his children, a staggering 40% tax levy will once again force these magnificent survivors of the Russian Revolution to be auctioned off, scattering the remaining legacy forever. The only established, secure escape route is the 1993 sovereign-to-sovereign agreement. By legally leaving the estate entirely to King Charles III, the collection would be completely shielded from taxation, preserved intact within the safety of the palace walls. Yet, making that transfer triggers an ironclad, unwritten hierarchy. The moment those jewels cross the threshold of the central royal collection, Queen Camilla, as the reigning consort, would possess the absolute, unquestionable right to select, control, and wear them first. This is the exact juncture where the rumours surrounding the Duke's final wishes gain their extraordinary momentum. Royal wills are fiercely guarded documents, heavily protected by law. They are traditionally locked away from public scrutiny for 90 years, a practice currently overseen by the highly influential Judge Sir Andrew MacFarlane, who personally holds dozens of these sealed royal directives. Hidden behind this impenetrable legal veil, aristocratic sources suggest the Duke of Kent has drafted a quiet rebellion. Rather than surrendering his family's legacy to the centralized royal machinery and the established hierarchy, he is allegedly prepared to let his estate bear the astronomical financial burden. The rumor mill insists he has established a highly secure private heritage trust, carefully constructed to deny the central royal collection custody of the jewels. Instead, this trust would legally bypass the reigning queen, designating Catherine as the sole beneficiary and guardian of the Romanov diamonds. This silent maneuvering brings us to the fascinating dynamic between the two most powerful women in the monarchy today. Queen Camilla represents the steadfast, undeniable reality of the present. Her ascent to the highest rank of the royal family is a testament to extraordinary resilience and carefully managed transformation. In the late 1990s, nearly 2/3 of the British public opposed the idea of her ever becoming queen. Yet, through decades of quiet dedication and the profound, history-altering blessing bestowed by the late Queen Elizabeth II in February 2022, public perception shifted. Today, she holds a solid 45% approval rating, continuously fulfilling her extensive royal obligations with admirable dedication. She rightfully projects stability and authority, affirming her paramount position by wearing some of the most powerful artifacts in existence, such as the spectacular Greville Emerald Kokoshnik. She represents the established order, maintaining the necessary continuity that the palace relies upon today. However, While the present firmly belongs to the Queen, the undeniable strength of the future rests entirely with Catherine. Her natural connection with the public has evolved into a profound reverence, forged through deep personal adversity. Her journey over the past few years has resonated on a deeply human level, from the solitary, courageous video recorded on a Windsor bench in March 2024 to the deeply emotional standing ovations she received at Wimbledon and her triumphant announcement of remission in January 2025. When she candidly admitted that the phase following treatment is truly difficult, she stripped away the polished royal veneer to reveal an authenticity that the public desperately craved. The palace is acutely aware of this unmatched influence, and their subtle endorsement of her elevating status has become increasingly visible in the unspoken language of jewels. They signaled her enduring importance by allowing her to bring the iconic Cambridge Lover's Knot tiara back into the public eye after an 18-year absence. But the ultimate, undeniable signal arrived in December 2025. Stepping into a state banquet, Catherine wore Queen Victoria's magnificent Oriental circlet, a breathtaking masterpiece adorned with over 2,600 diamonds and rubies. This was no mere styling choice. It was an unprecedented breaking of protocol. For 172 years, the Oriental circlet had been worn exclusively by reigning queens. Allowing a Princess of Wales to wear it was a deliberate, unmistakable institutional endorsement, visually placing the aura of future sovereignty directly upon her shoulders. This visual endorsement by the palace is not merely an act of affection, it is a calculated response to a rapidly shifting societal landscape. The British monarchy currently finds itself navigating a highly critical generational transition, facing pressures that cannot be ignored. Recent societal surveys have cast a stark light on the institution's standing, revealing that only 51% of the British public currently view the monarchy as an essential institution. Among younger demographics, the desire for an elected head of state is growing significantly. The institution is acutely aware that to survive in the 21st century, it cannot simply rely on the deference of the past. It must actively secure the genuine trust of the present. In stark contrast to the institution's overall standing, Catherine commands an overwhelming 73% approval rating. She is, quite simply, the most potent asset the royal family possesses. By allegedly maneuvering to endow her with the Romanov legacy, the Duke of Kent is reflecting a broader, urgent institutional necessity. It demonstrates a profound willingness to bend hundreds of years of internal and unwritten rules and even endure staggering financial penalties to empower the specific individual who ensures the crown's continued relevance. The rumored transfer of these historic jewels serves as a brilliant mechanism to solidify Catherine's regal image, outfitting the future queen with the literal weight of history. It proves that the royal family, when faced with the existential threat of losing public connection, is capable of profound flexibility. They understand that the survival of the crown depends entirely on equipping its most beloved figure with the ultimate symbols of majesty, ensuring that when Catherine eventually ascends to the throne, she does so backed by the heaviest and most historic diamonds the family has to offer. Beyond the dazzling brilliance of the Romanov diamonds, the staggering monetary value of the Kent collection, or the secretive maneuvers hidden within sealed legal wills, this entire saga reflects a far more profound truth about the nature of absolute power. Precious stones possess the remarkable ability to outlast the very empires that forged them, surviving revolutions, wars, and the relentless passage of time. Legal directives can be locked away in impenetrable vaults, sealing the quiet wishes of dukes and kings from the public eye for an entire century. Yet, the true, enduring strength of a royal dynasty does not reside in the cold, flawless gems hidden deep within fortified palace safes, nor does it lie in the strict, unyielding protocols written into ancient institutional decrees. True power resides entirely in the hearts, minds, and unwavering belief of ordinary people toward the individual chosen to wear those crowns. Whether the legendary Kent jewels ultimately find their rest within the established hierarchy of the central royal collection, or are daringly placed directly into the hands of Catherine, the broader narrative has already been solidified. The silent, undeniable shift in influence cannot be reversed by any rule or tradition. History, it seems, has already made its sovereign choice.